This is my story, my mission, my purpose in life. I have always thought was to be a mom. Growing up, I just knew that's all I wanted to be. I didn't put any effort into going to college. I just thought I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, and I would be lucky enough to marry someone who supported me in that role, that I still would build skills, but I would not have a career outside of my home. That's what I always felt, and always what I always wanted. So, in my growing up years and college years, I took child development classes. I was a nanny for several different families and trained professionally as a nanny. Actually, that was before everyone started calling themselves nannies, because it was a little more of a trained position than a babysitter. But I did a live-in nanny for a couple of families even, so a lot of experience with raising children. I was also a court-appointed special advocate, a volunteer for Guardian Ad Litem, where I testified for them in court. These children, the neglected and abused children, I would spend time with them, and then I would write testimonials for them and their experience and their life and how things are going. And then I would testify for them before the judge. The judge would tell us that our testimonies were very valid, very important to them. So I really enjoyed that role. I was able to learn a lot about abuse and neglect and how to just build healthy relationships with our children and the things that are important for children growing and feeling secure. I was a huge Super Nanny fan. I loved watching her shows. I just thought there's just nothing that we can't do as parents to help raise our children. I had all the tools, I had the psychology, I had the techniques, and I just was all equipped to be this wonderful mother, and life was going to be great as a mom. That was what my perspective was before I got married. And then got married at the age of 33, and then for 6 years was unable to have children or to get pregnant. We after years of trying, and we tried in vitro fertilization. We tried um, artificial insemination. We tried different drugs. We tried lots of prayers every single day, prayers and fasting and pleading and begging God and making deals with him. And we went through one adoption, a full term birth adoption that failed. From the day that she found out she was pregnant, she chose us to be her parents, and we went through the entire pregnancy, flew to Virginia to take the baby home with us, and at the last minute, baby daddy decided that he was going to intervene and he was going to stop the adoption from happening, and that's what happened. So failed adoption. That was 1 year before we actually adopted the daughter that we have now. Her birth mom saw us going through that, the tragedy of us losing that baby. The whole ward was so excited for us to adopt and bring our baby home, and then came home empty-handed. And that was, she saw us going through all that, and she saw our faith, and she was mostly impressed, I'm sure, with my husband at the time, and wanted to provide this baby that she had of hers. She wanted to provide this baby with a dad and a mom, and so she chose us to adopt her baby. So at 41, I adopted our daughter, and now, fast forward 6 years or so, she started experiencing severe anxiety, separation anxiety. She had moments up until then, with moods and whatever. I just thought it was all so normal, which it all is. There was, but there, as she got older, and this was in the time of our marriage when we were separating and then divorcing. We were separated when she was 6 and divorced when she was 7. So in addition to some of the separation anxiety stuff that she was dealing with as a child adopted, she was also struggling with her parents separating. So a lot of security issues were coming up, her not having any feeling or ounce of control in her life. was really, really, really difficult for her. So she had a lot of emotional breakdowns. I started learning about reactive attachment disorder and how that's very common in adoptees, how it's common in babies that are separated from their biological mother early on. Even moms who keep their babies and don't place them for adoption, these children sometimes still will struggle with some of these, I guess, reactions. There's security, that's what it's about. So I've learned what the security needs are. I've learned how to take care of those needs. I've learned what causes the meltdowns and how to help my daughter specifically, but help children. So she's now 11. I say she's going on 17. She's learning about responsibility and respect. She has been learning this all along. As I have learned about the reactive attachment disorder, I've seen all of these behaviors that are so common, so that I can help her walk through them and work through them all through these years. It's not easy, but it's so important to understand what she's feeling so that I can not make things perfect, but to make things feel safe for her so that she can grow and develop and learn and attach to connect with me and connect with others. In these support groups that we offer, I will share much more of my personal story and my personal experiences and some things that I've learned and I'm learning, things that are approved by my daughter when I share of her, speaking for her or her stories. It has to, I feel like in order for her to trust me, that it needs to be something that she approves of. But this was my story. And if there's anything, any questions you have about this or about me and my situation, then you can feel free to reach out to me. Have a good night. Bye.